the roll.
Okay.
All the members, so I was asking Mobley if you have the roll,
Yes, sir.
or
Yes, sir. I have the roll.
will you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. David L. Acey, Nicholas Begorgas,
Here.
June Jen Schointer,
Here.
Asia
My
Diggs
camera's
Medor.
not working, but I'm here.
All right. Asia Diggs Medor,
Present.
James Kirkwood,
Present.
Michael Lonesome, Sean Lynch,
Present.
Hazel Moore, Stevie Moore,
Present.
Albert Morris, Mr. Morris, are you there? I see his name. We'll check back with him later. Sandeep Petnecker. I see Sandeep. I haven't heard him.
I put a question mark on it. Good.
Okay.
That's good.
Jeff Warren. I see you, Mr. Warren.
Yeah, I'm here. Present.
Willie Ward.
Present.
All right. We have our board members. I see Ms. Gransberg.
The vote has been taken.
We're good to go, Mr. Kirkwood.
Okay. Is there, I think, Mr. Warren, new business. Mr. Warren is, our new council, representative. Councilman Warren, would you like to introduce yourself or say anything to us?
I'm pleased to be on this commission, and I'll try to add what bit of medical expertise I have with it. It'll be nice when we don't have to meet with COVID. That makes interpersonal communication is hard, and what we're going to be dealing with always are hard topics. But I think we're going to have a lot of emphasis on lowering our murder rate and making sure our police are performing appropriately as we do that. And, I think this is a very important entity to make sure that we have accountability among our police as we're trying to get our murder rate down and our violent crime rate down. So CLERB is going to be a huge part of this push that we're going to have to try to lower our murder rate that you're going to be hearing coming out of the council and the administration within the next few weeks.
Thank you, sir. Everyone have received the minutes from our last meeting, and you have read it. I move to approve the minutes at this time.
So move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, all opposed? Thank you so much. Our minutes will be put into archives that you all agreed. I hope you all had a wonderful, yes, ma'am.
Quick question. The last meeting was the meeting before I guess the new folks got sworn in because we had to cut our meeting short, correct? The meeting that we tried to have. Is that correct? Okay, so
yes.
I wouldn't be able to vote on those anyway. So I didn't say anything, but I'm sure the record will reflect that because this is like my first official meeting. So.
All right. Thank you. Next on the agenda, old business, new business. Is there anything that we should be discussing, Mr. Mobley, or hold on, what's his name?
Robinson?
Ken, Moody, Council.
As of right now,
I-
it looks like the only new business we have would be the case.
Right. Okay. So we're going to, today we're hearing a case. The allegation is excessive force. The complainant is Mr. Adam Owens, and the officer is a D. Rousey.
Yes, that's my case. That's right there.
And so at this time, Mr. Owens, would you come forward? I will swear you in.
Mr. Owens, if you raise your right hand. If you raise your right hand, Mr. Owens. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Owens, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give before this Civilian Law Enforcement Review Board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under pains and penalties or perjury?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Owens, tell us what occurred on August the 7th, 2018, between you and the officer.
On August the 7th, 2018, I was pulled over by a police officer. I didn't know I was being pulled over. He said he was following me with no seatbelt. He turned around on me. I looked in my rearview mirror, and I never looked in my rearview mirror, so by the time I made it to the store, I was getting out without any knowledge he was behind me. So by the time I opened my door, like a normal person, I opened my door, it's getting closed behind me. I'm looking at it, and it's getting closed. I'm like, what's going on, you know? That's why I found out I'm being pulled over. I was like, I'm doing with an officer behind me, you know, so, okay. So he talked to me. He's like, yeah, I'm pulling you over. I'm about to get out the car and do my own thing. You know, I didn't know he was behind me. So I could have shot him. But anyway, he went to the car, tried to give me a ticket. And, he said, sign it. I signed the ticket with my name on it. I had a witness with me at the time. I signed the ticket with a clipboard, one clipboard and one pen. I had his pen. I signed it and put a line through it for my signature. And the next thing you know, I had my window down already. Usually I have it up, but I had it down. The officer decided just to, reach through the car and punch me in my chin and wrap his hand around his neck. It happened, it really happened. He punched me right there across the chin and had to rough me out the car. And I did nothing disorderly, anything, violent towards him. I tried to get out of jail and put a lawsuit on him. Well, not a lawsuit, but just put awareness about this, because I don't get pulled over and get hit by officers at all. If that even happens, It sounds like that Martavius Banks kid that just got his lawsuit settled today, from $10,200,000, so you got to be careful. But anyways, he hit me, and he pulled me out of the car. I had a cousin with me in the car. He snatched me out of the car and let another officer help assist him, and he took me down and put me in the back seat. It happened all so fast, because I didn't do anything violent. I didn't say anything rowdy towards him. I didn't incite no violence like the Trump did, like Trump supporters did. But all I did was he gave me a ticket. I signed to put my name on it, and I was taking my own ticket out to give it back to him, just like, here. And, he said I stole his pen. It's in the file. I stole his pen. I didn't steal an officer's pen. He was trying to do something else at the moment. This is my second time being pulled over by this officer in 1 year. So he followed me before, maybe 2 months earlier prior to that, he pulled me over. And the next time he decided to hit me, he punched me across the face this time, so I got a chance to know who he is pretty well, just to make a long story short, he took me to 201 Popular, and the lady in the intake system, she asked me, did I have any injuries? You know, because once the officer punches you or using any force, he's supposed to take you to the med or the hospital. You know, he didn't take me to the 201. He took me straight to 201. He didn't take me to the med. Didn't ask if I had any injuries. Of course, he's a big guy too. He's a real big guy, and you know, he punched me. Seatbelt wasn't an issue at the moment. You know, he said he saw me with no seatbelt. I don't know how he saw me. I'm driving by, you know, unless I don't know how he saw it, you know, but it happens. It happens. And that's all it was. Just a simple seatbelt. Maybe like the last ticket I had, you know. I went to 201 intake system. The lady told me to take me to the hospital. She said, take him to the hospital. Did you have any injuries? I said, yes, I have injuries. And I said, what injuries do you have? I said, I got a jawbone fracture. I can't, you know, jawbone fracture. And, you know, he kind of roughed me up my elbow. I can't pick up stuff, you know, it's kind of hard to pick up stuff. And my ribs and stuff. No real injuries. You know, I had personal injuries. I couldn't get defended. Anyways, you know, I went to the hospital. They did me an X-ray, CAT scan. They rolled me through the CAT scan. And, you know, she took my X-ray in my head, you know, make sure if I had any jaw fracture, my jaw messed up or anything of that nature, you know, my teeth or anything, you know, but they're still in place. But those are things that I had went and got filed ahead of time, you know. And I got a medical record at Regional 1. I'm supposed to have looked at, but, you know, it's hard to get that defended at the moment, you know, so I got that taken care of. And I ran to Arthur Robinson, Mr. Arthur Robinson, and gave me this book. We worked on it. Once I talked to Detective Tablet, I had to talk to Detective Tablet.
Yeah, I have does anyone have any questions for Mr. Owens?
Yes,
Let's go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, David Ace is joining the meeting by phone.
Go on, Mr.
Sideways
Ward.
right now.
Hello?
Thank you, Mr. Ace.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Does anyone have a question?
I do.
Yes, I'll answer a question.
There's a question in the chat box. I don't know who that person is, but oh yeah, I see Mr. Warren. That's Mr. Warren's question.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do we use the chat box to like queue up for questions? You know, you can like that little thing at the top. You can just put that in. Everybody can get in order. That way we know. We don't have to holler.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's do that. If you have a question, put it in the chat box, and then I can call on you.
I'll stay on the phone. You coming back?
Because if everybody have the same book, you can look on page 5. That's a good way to start this case off about the police. What they did. I read through the book and everything.
Mr. Owens.
Oh yes.
You read through the book.
Right.
Did the internal affairs investigators, did they take down your statements in the case as you said it?
Yes. It was recorded. And taped.
Okay.
I have statements in here from investigators. They're in here. The statements are in here from the investigator.
Okay. All right. We have the book. We have the case file. Here's a question. Here's the question that is being asked, and I am going to ask it, Mr. Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'm gonna ask it because I don't know if. Let me ask the question. Did Mr. Owens? And it was a question I'm sure that everybody has. All right. But before I ask this question, I want to ask you. You said the officer has pulled you over twice.
Correct.
Correct. When he pulled you over for the seatbelt, violation. Did you have on your seatbelt?
The first time or the second time?
The second time.
I was getting out the car, so no, I didn't have it on. I was already getting out, so my door was open and he pushed it back. I could have just said, bam. I could have just shot him. I didn't know who he was. You trying to get out your car. And somebody with a uniform on pushing your door closed. What's going on? So I'm like, what's going on? But it happened.
Sir, the question is, before you got out of the car, before you opened your door to go to the convenience store, were you wearing your seatbelt?
From my knowledge, yes. I had a seatbelt on. I was getting out to go, so yes.
That
was the reason to stop.
The first time the officer pulled you over, what was that account about? What was the violation?
The first time he was riding with a buddy officer, team officer, and it was a seatbelt violation. They said they stopped me with no seatbelt again. And he pulled me over, and I talked to him and his partner, M. Polinsky, and I know his name, David Rousey. So I know his name, so that helps. And it's the same thing then. It could have been the same thing then, but the second time is when he pulled me over by himself, and he hit me by himself. He was with somebody last time. He wasn't driving. He was the passenger, and we had like a little confrontation about my ticket. And the second he went over and reached me and hit me. He did all that, so.
I got a question. I can't find out how to get on the chat line, Mr. Kirkwood, but I do have a question.
It's up at the top on the right. At the top of the screen on the right, there's a little quotation thing. You click on that. So look up where it says view everyone and go to the right. You see people, it says number 18. Then right to the right of that's a little chat box. You click on that and it'll open it up for you.
I see 17.
Actually,
All right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I got it. People think I'm rowdy, Rousey. One question I just read, resisting arrest. I wasn't resisting, I was kind of just talking to him to get to understand what was the ticket about. Like I said, I had a witness with me. He got a witness statement, and he will say the same thing. He just reached in, punched me through the window, and tried to pull me out of the car. And his partners helped him. He had two other partners with him, three actually on the scene.
Okay, so this was my question, Mr. Owen, and thank you for trying to answer. I guess I was just trying to figure out. I heard where you said you were signing with his pen. You had your window down. You were taking your copy to give it back. He reached in and punched you, correct? I guess right. You were tearing your part off. You tried to give him his part back. He reached in and punched you. What I'm trying to clarify is what happened after that. Was there something that occurred outside of the car? Because in a normal ticket stop, get your ticket back, see you at 2:01. Hopefully you don't show up and be about your business. But right. I want to know what occurred, if anything, after you handed the ticket back. Did something happen outside of the car?
Yes, it did. What happened was, he had a white officer, male officer that approached me and took me out the car. The black male punched me, but I ended up being snatched out the car by the white male officer named M. Atkins. He's the arrester. He's the one that arrested me. So the black officer hit me and he left. And Atkins, the one that actually arrested me, he swept me in my leg and he put me down. I wasn't resisting arrest, I had to get out the car.
Can I stop you there because there's some gap here? Because this is my question. I'm sorry, board. Okay, so you handed the ticket back, and the officer actually walked back to his car, and you thought and at that point you thought the encounter was over. But you represented that another officer, the white officer, came back to your car, and then snatched you out. Is that what you're saying?
Not exactly, but it wasn't that the white officer did anything wrong. He was just there when the black officer decided to hit me. He found out what my ticket was. I'm writing you up for no seatbelt and proof of insurance. I had proof of insurance, and he came back to the car. Once he found out what he wanted to give me, he came back, and that's when everything happened. When he came back, all I did is, okay, bam, signing it. what is this for? Exactly. Okay, let me rip this off and give it back. Please keep my ticket, and you get the board. You know, he stole my pen. The officer stole, and my dog. And he pulled me out by the shoulder. That's when the white officer was behind me, and he kicked me in the leg, you know, and I went down to the knee and get me
Well,
down.
how did he get to your, if you were sitting in your car, I guess I'm trying to figure out how they got to your person.
Right.
If you were sitting in your car handing a ticket off, how did the second officer get a chance to sweep your legs? At what point did you get out of the car?
I was forced out. I was forced out because I guess the other officer was so close. When the black male officer decided to hit me, the white officer was either around him that close or he was somewhere I couldn't see him at, you know, because on the scene, I had like 3 or 4 police cars behind me at one time. I had like 3 or 4 cars, so I might not know it's the white officer, but he the one that actually put me behind handcuffs, you know. But the black officer hit me and pulled me out, and he left.
Right.
And that's when the white officer came and helped him, you know. It's in the statement.
I just need you to explain to me how you got out of the car. I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out, how you got from writing a ticket, handing it off, to being outside of the car. Did someone open your car door? Did you step out after you signed the ticket? Did they pull you out of the window? How did you get outside of your vehicle?
My door was open since I was getting out the car. You know, before the police stopped me, I was getting out already. So my door supposed to be locked and my window supposed to be up, but I was getting out already, and he closed it back. So the door was already open. I did open the door and my window down. Boom, opened my door and took me out the car. I could have made it difficult. I should have had my door locked. I should have had my window up, you know, like they did that Martavius Banks kid.
That I understand there's a lot of shoulda, coulda. I just wanted to understand, you know, how you got from signing your ticket to being outside of your vehicle. That's just what I wanted to understand, and I appreciate you answering my question.
No problem. Thank you. That's right.
Mr. Owens, we have another from Mr. Steve Moore.
Yes, Mr. Adams. I want to know one thing here. When the officer gave you a directive to sign the ticket, why did you sign your name with a line? But you not sign with your signature?
Yes, that was my signature.
A line is your signature?
Yes, anything that's my signature. I put something on there. I could have put nothing. I put something on there. I didn't refuse to sign, you know. Can't say I didn't put anything.
When you believe a line is not a sign? If I go to the bank and borrow some money, I can't put a line for my name. I have to put my name on there.
Now, you're right, that did happen, but at the moment, I think he understood my name. He understood my name enough. You know, I signed it, put a sign through there, the dotted line like a doctor scribe, you know.
But if you want to get a loan from a bank, would you put a line on that that this is Adam Owens, a line?
Yeah, I would, you know, if it's clearly stated.
But you don't think that was not part? You don't think that was not part in the order? When the officer asked you to sign your name, you put a line? We say everybody. Huh?
No, I don't think that line was enough to make him go over the board, you know, because I signed myself.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if you signed your name, that particular ticket, and gave it back to the officer correctly, like you asked, do you think all this stuff would even involved? You signed the ticket and gave it back, and you've been on your way.
From that instant, no, it wouldn't have made no difference because I signed it and tried to hand it back, but he said I stole his pen. At some point, I stole his pen, you know.
But Mr. Owens, you keep saying you signed. That's not a signature. A line is not a signature.
It didn't matter at the point. At the Mr. Moore, at the moment, it didn't matter because he just wanted his pen back. You know, he didn't get a chance to read anything until he back and searched my car for evidence, and that's when he found a loaded gun, as part of marijuana conduct. True, because I wasn't intoxicated. I didn't get pulled over because of intoxication. You know, it had no sense of alcohol. He smelled no alcohol, no marijuana. he could have planted it on me, you know. So it's not about being drunk or anything, you know. He found it.
Mr. Owens, I have a question.
Oh, yes.
In the book that you have, your case report, there's a picture of you, and there's a signature of your name, Adam Owens. There's a signature. Is this
right.
Are you saying you signed Adam Owens? This is how you signed your name and then drew a line through it, or you just drew a straight line?
I drew a line. It didn't matter for the ticket. So this, he couldn't read my ticket. All he did was wanted his pen back because he looked at it and said, "Are you gonna put a?" He didn't ask me was I gonna put my name down. He looked at it and he didn't do that. You know, he didn't get a chance to do that.
Okay, I get it.
But what page are you on?
It's in the it's not numbered, but it's a picture of you. But there's also a picture of your driver's license where your name is you sign your name. You have a very nice signature. Right wing.
They got no evidence. You know, I got injury. I got an injury, so I can't sign my big. You know, so the officer had to make a decision. The officer had to make a decision that time. You know.
I have another question. Why did you tear your ticket out of the book instead of allowing the officer to tear the ticket out of the book?
That was just the thing of the moment. You know, I was helping him out. I was trying to help him out. You know.
Everybody, I'm over here.
Yeah, I can't get stuck on one thing. He was stuck on coming through the window. Big guy. He's a real big guy.
Okay. Hey, has anyone else got any other questions?
Oh, I got another statement. The officer that this case is about, you can look him up, and you can actually find he got a report. He got a bad rep in Memphis. You know, I think in 2013 he was involved in something else. That's the same officer I'm into it with now. You know, so if it's something now or later, you know, it's something you gotta know to do because people won't have a clue how to start doing stuff like this. Like Martavius Banks, the same day I signed my name on them pictures, Martavius got shot by a police officer in Memphis. The same day. So, you know, I'm just trying to watch justice out here however it comes to me. It's hard to get a job sometimes. I'm working. I think, you know, they put me on personal injury. I had a personal injury behind this, you know, so I had to go by the road, you know. I'm still working. I'm still working out.
What was the personal injury that you received?
Oh, yes, on them pictures, my jaw was hard for me to talk, you know, from my officer, you know, it was hard for me to talk. I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but you know, it's hard for me to talk English. You know, my elbow, he jammed my elbow. The white officer or the black one could have did it. You know, they slammed me to the ground. They slammed me, but I went to the ground. My elbow was so swollen. You know, it's hard for me to my joint and my ribs. You know, my ribs.
Mr. Torres. Mr. Kirkwood, may I ask a question, sir?
Yeah.
Mr. Torres, let me ask you about you said, I know you're not a doctor. Tell me about your jawbone injury. You said you fractured it. You didn't fracture it, actually, though, did you?
Yes, it was injured by the police officer. I got a jawbone injury, jawbone fracture.
Well, are you sure let's be careful there about a jawbone fracture. Are you really telling us under oath you've got a jawbone fracture? They fractured your jawbone. You're sure about that?
Yeah, it could have been my neck. He could have broke my neck, but he hit me across the jaw. So just saying, I'm just giving him an ins and out, you know.
Well, how hard did he hit you? Tell me how hard he hit you.
For a big man, you know, he gave me the wound, you know, bam, man.
Was there any blood?
Yeah, he drew blood. You know, he got blood out of me.
All right, let me ask you. I don't suppose you've had a chance to look at the records. They took you to the Regional 1 Medical Center. Is that right, the Med? Is that where you went?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
The Med?
The Regional 1, my bad. I'm sorry, Regional 1.
And you went to the Med, right?
Yes, if I recall, yes.
Have you had a chance to look at those records yet?
I keep getting the runaround to get my records back, but no. I want to ask about them here or later, but I want.
Well, I've got them. I have them. Let me tell you what the Med said about what you just said. It says.
Okay.
I'm reading from this. His exam is negative for acute changes, negative for obvious evidence of injury or deformity, negative for lacerations. There's no. It says. It does say no. It does say negative for swelling. It says no bleeding in the mouth. It says no bleeding in the mouth. It does say noted for tenderness that is moderate of the chin and left jaw. It does say that. There's no fracture. There's no fracture. It says you would not answer whether or not your teeth were coming together. They must have asked you questions. You wouldn't answer them. And it says you wouldn't answer whether or not that you were walking as usual. It says no head trauma. Now, I want to be clear to you. That's what these records say. Is there any reason why they wouldn't tell the truth?
Under oath, they're brothers in blue. They wouldn't tell the truth for nobody but themselves. So I know they lying because thankfully I had my family member with me, so it won't matter this time because I have family. And this the whole issue they're putting together, you know. I got family that knows the truth. The officer, he can go out there and lie and say, no, I didn't hit him or do this. I don't have no reason to lie about what he did by himself, and I'm trying to take care of this.
Well,
officer.
Does the Med have any reason to lie is what I'm asking you?
For them papers to be said, for those papers to say I didn't have any injuries would be a lie from the citizens, from the people is covering this up for some reason. I don't know why, you know, so, I mean, that's what they're doing.
That's all I've got. Oh, thank you, sir. That's all I've got.
These are the medical records that were in the packet that, Mr. Begorgos, you're reading the ones that were provided in our packet, correct?
Yes, it's 1, 2, 3 pages. And the only thing it does note, it says no tenderness that is moderate of the chin and left jaw. It does say that. Other than that, there's no injury, there's no trauma. That's what it says.
Yes, Mr. Owen, did you get these? They should have been in your book. Did you get your medical records here that were in your book?
No, they're not in my book. They're not in my book. I never...
Stapled? You don't have any pieces of paper that are loose in your book, or?
Oh, yes, I do. But it doesn't...
Pull those stapled pages out, and I just want to make sure that we're all seeing the same thing out of, fairness, what we're reading from. There's a few stapled pages in the book. I want you to pull them out for us, please.
Ms. Meadows?
Mm-hmm.
He did not get a copy of his medical records. I could only give that to the board. So he does not have a copy of his medical records. Next thing I need to say, his witness was contacted 4 times, and his witness never got back with me. I reached out to his witness 4 times, just for the record, and I got the information from Mr. Owens, and his witness never got back with me. And we do have body cam footage whenever you're ready to see it.
Oh,
yeah, thank you. I think, let's look at the video.
Okay.
It might look bad. It already seems bad when you read it. It seems like it looks bad on my end. Okay, that's okay. Oh.
I didn't see your driver's license showing, man.
How you doing?
How you do, sir? You got my deal over there, sir?
I was in an emergency. Tag 241, are you on the scene? 241? You're on the scene, right?
You got your insurance card on?
No, I had to get another one sent out not too long ago. Had to get another one sent out not too long ago.
What's that?
Internal affairs.
Huh?
Internal affairs.
What you showing that to me for?
Because you're an officer with a badge.
So what now?
Because you're an officer, and I'm just trying to make sure you understand what I get before you do what you continue doing.
What you talking about, man? You lost me.
Okay. Well, you lost me by pulling me over.
I did.
Yeah, I was actually got to call handle my business.
Okay, you start wearing your seatbelt, then I won't have to pull you over.
How you see my seatbelt?
Man, that's what I do. I do this every day.
Man, how you see my seatbelt? Here's how you go. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you. 6228. Show me special at 3649 Mill Branch with Tennessee Golf 3138 Juliet.
28, cat number 1257.
Nah, he was showing all them damn tickets he got, but then he want to get smart. Some paperwork he got from the Internal Revenue, and a bunch of tickets he already got. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They won't talk crazy. No, right?
This is the second time pulling me over. So I guess now he's signing this paperwork, getting the paperwork together, getting ready to give me the ticket. You know, I wasn't being. He's making his mind of what he's about to do. I can't see the video.
Excuse me. Hold on. Excuse me, Mr. Owens. Don't talk while we watch this.
I can't see the video.
Nah, I can't. I was looking at this stupid motherfucker. He see I'm on traffic stop, but I guess he think I'm gonna move so he can park. Yeah, but he motherfucker. He'll be alright.
And we were unable to locate anyone on the panhandling call.
Today is Tuesday. On the countdown. Friday for who? You? Hold on. Hold on.
26 Bravo, we have 263 Bravo return.
Where you at?
Okay, 263. I'm on the line.
Right.
It's a lifestyle.
I'm in service with a citation.
For real? I don't know.
We walked out to the entrance and walked back. So, probably that's started. Okay.
You know. You ride on back of there with me. We're gonna see. We'll see. Yeah.
board, we're gonna fast forward just a little bit for that door to open, if that's okay.
You need to do what?
Fast forward.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, we'll leave it like it is.
I stop and take them home with me. You don't know who get them.
244-266 fight, North Veronia and Martha Jean Drive in the Secretary Apartment. There's a large crowd of people, approximately 20-36 fighting, started last night, going on today. They're going to be towards the middle of the complex. Veronia and Martha Jean in the Secretary Apartment. 244.
Sure not. It sure isn't.
Okay, check. 266 on the top.
It is not.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Shut it down.
Now watch he say something crazy.
He'll get out how much those players and those.
Read your phone up.
What happened? He cut his camera off? He cut his camera off?
Boyd, you know who that is? Do you know who that is, Bennett? NBA Young Familiar. They have songs together, so maybe you'll be there. NBA Young Boy.
Six right there with the X is.
So yeah.
You roused him?
Yeah.
You was there with D. Hawkins the other day, so you. Turn on. You serviced me when I was with D. Hawkins off of Brooks and Airways that day. I remember you pulling up on the scene, on one of these things.
Okay, but sign right there with the X is.
Okay, mister. Why you ain't got the ocean on your police?
Man, sign the ticket right there with the X is.
There you go.
Look, man.
Yeah, you did that shit.
Look.
You touched me. You just
Give me my pen, man.
Touched me, dog.
Give me my pen.
You just touched me.
Give me my motherfucking pen,
You
man.
have a pen, but you just touched me. You gonna get attitude about a pen, boo?
Get your motherfucking ass whooped. I don't play, son.
Hey, you see this right here? I wish the fuck you would touch me.
Come on. I tell you what. There you go. Get on down. Get on down. Get on down.
Put your fucking hand behind your back.
Miss X.
I'm gonna watch your ass, Smith.
Hey, I got him.
Yeah.
Hey, don't make it that damn tight, bro.
Get your ass some cracking food. Come on. That light fucked up, son.
That is fucked up.
I ain't never heard this movie.
You get mad about a pen?
Spread your leg, man. It's my pen, ain't it?
I guess you paid for like this car, right? You paid for this car, right?
I stop watching. You stop watching. He already punched me. You know.
Damn, dog. How my damn nuts?
Never see.
Act like somebody like they nuts being touched, bro.
Thank you.
Stop watching. Good time.
Yeah.
Set it out.
Hold on.
White t-shirt, black dark pants, on the scene causing a disturbance, refusing to leave.
Might be a gun in there, right?
Handgun carry permit. What's he trying to show you?
I have no idea.
Is he a sovereign?
No, he didn't say that.
Well, he was holding that when I pulled up.
That's about it. Would you like for me to rewind it?
He got quite a few of them in there.
Repeat, sir.
Mr. Robinson, would you mind going back to right when they opened the door up and he got out of the car?
Yes, sir. Stand by. Go back just a little bit, just before you open the car door. Been in that car so long.
Boyd, you know who that is? Do you know who that is, Bennett? NBA Young Familiar. They have songs together, so maybe you'll be there. NBA Young Boy.
Six right there where the X is.
So yeah.
Oh, he roused him?
Yeah.
You was there with D. Hawkins the other day, so you. Hold on. You serviced me when I was with D. Hawkins off of Brooks and Airways that day. I remember you pulling up on the scene, on one of these things.
Okay, but sign right there where the X is.
Okay, Miss. Why you ain't got the ocean on your police?
Man, sign the ticket right there where the X is.
There you go.
Look, man.
Yeah, you did that shit.
Look.
And you touched me. You just
Give me my pen, man.
Touch me, dog.
Give me my pen.
You just touched me.
Give me my motherfucking pen,
You
man.
have a pen, but you just touched me. You gonna get attitude about a pen, fool?
Get your motherfucking ass whooped. I don't play, son.
Hey, you see this right here? I wish the fuck you would touch me.
Come on. I tell you what. Come on. There you go. Get on down. Get on down. Get on down.
Put your fucking hand behind your back.
I'm gonna watch your ass, Neil.
Hey, I got him.
You got it.
Hey, don't make it that damn tight, bro.
Get your ass some cracking food. Come on. You got life fucked up, son.
You got it fucked up. You get mad about a pen?
Spread your legs, man. It's my pen, ain't it?
I guess you paid for like this car, right?
My pen.
You paid for this car, right?
Oh.
What? Damn, dog. How my damn nuts? They act like somebody like they nuts being touched, bro.
Thank you.
And you paperwork, man. There's something about paperwork. Paperwork.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Okay, we can come out of that, guys.
Is there anything a part of about this video that anyone else want to see?
Yes, I couldn't see it at all. I couldn't see the video at all.
It's probably because you're on your phone. Your screen may be too small.
I understand. I heard him on the phone. I got you. I understand. I saw some of it, but it cut out. It cut off.
Albert Morris got his hand waving. Albert Morris wants to say something.
Is there a way that Mr. Owens could be put in a chat room while we discuss this?
You might need me to, because it reads worse than what it sounds.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Mr. Adams.
We're not allowed to go into any kind of executive session, or I mean, he's entitled to hear all the discussions. And we can't segregate him after that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. His complaint is excessive force. He says that the officer hit him in his jaw, causing injuries, and he was slammed to the ground, causing injuries to his elbow. Ms. Adams, is that correct?
Correct. Ms. Kirkwood.
The officer in his statement says he never hit you. He does admit to taking him around.
Yes, it's true. I read that.
Right. The video shows that he never hit you. The video does show that he took you to the ground. It does not show that he slammed you to the ground. The video also shows that you refused to give him his pen.
Right. Well,
And
not
he asked you
refused.
for his.
I was questioning him to give him his pen back. You know, I don't refuse.
Okay. All right. Well, most people probably would take that as a refusal when being asked by an authority figure to give me my pen, give me the pen. They would probably take it as a refusal. So the officer took it as a refusal.
I understand. I guess I understand. I'm not an officer, but I understand from, different aspects of. I wasn't trying to stab him. I wasn't stealing, and this is my second time being pulled over too. So it can go from there.
Mr. Adams, I think Albert, was you going to say something? I saw your hand go up.
Now say something, Sherwood.
Yes.
He's still muted.
I'd like to ask Mr. Adams something. I deal with so many young men in this position. Do you think you have any part of playing that you caused this, and you could have been prevented if you had just followed the officer instruction? Do you think you have no responsibility in this by not following the officer? By getting disrespectful to the officer, it's just sign the ticket and let it go. I'm just asking a question. In your mind, you don't think you had no cause in this at all? It's all the officer, and you had played no part in it.
I would say I play a part, and my part was to understand why I was being pulled over. And you see one thing, and it could have led to another. I
and
curse him out.
It did add to another.
Right. If he could have shot me, I could have been shot by him at that time, because
Why?
being in the real.
Why? Why you say that?
It can happen. They do it to other kids out here.
All he actually would do was sign a ticket.
Right. And I did, which I did. I complied.
And then you don't think you was disrespectful at all to that officer?
No, I didn't say anything disrespectful.
And another question I'm going to ask you. You said he stopped you twice. Do you recall August the 5th of 2017 being stopped on Applestone and Neely Road? And you refused to sign the citation several times at the same time? Do you recall that?
Yes. Honestly, that wasn't what I was trying to send my case through. But yes, I will explain it to you, but that wasn't my whole issue. I wasn't supposed to have that on there.
But you brought up that it was your second time he stopped you. I'm seeing in the record that this thing happened back in 2017 to you.
Right, almost a year later.
Yeah, but you also told the guy in the car not to obey the officer's rule.
Right, I'm not out being rowdy or being successful, I'm not a civil activist. I'm not somebody that knows my rights. All I'm saying is, you got to talk to policemen, the people that pull you over, that serve you.
You also have to follow, I also have to follow instructions from officers.
I do.
Did you agree with that?
Yes, because once if you read the affidavit, the one you talking about is back then. I wanted that one too. That officer wanted to pull over my cousin. Somebody was in the car with me. I signed my ticket, and it's over. I was going to go, but he wanted to worry about my passenger. So I said, don't worry about the passenger. I got my ticket. We can go. That's when he decided to make his move, pull me over, pull out his pepper spray. He didn't pepper spray me. While I was in jail, I got into a fight, but I'm really not talking about that. I'm talking about Tony Baker, but outside. Tony Barker.
I just want to know how you feel about that, because you seem like you keep getting caught up in the same incident. So I think sometimes, young men, we have to think, I've been incarcerated before, I'm an ex-convict. Sometimes we have to stop taking our own responsibility and stop blaming everybody and take responsibility for our own life. That's what I had to do.
Right. I understand being disorderly and resisting, that can get you locked up for what? You know, you don't know what you're resisting, you don't know what you're being disorderly about. But I was taken to jail and got into a fight by a prison officer. That's what I'm talking about. This set up the same night I got into a fight with a prison officer.
And I'm gonna let it go. I just want you to think about why you think you keep getting in these situations.
Hey, they can pull you over just because your headlights out, you know, and once you get in that situation, once they hit your...
I've been pulled over a lot of times because my headlights got off. I got a ticket and I drove on home.
Right. But not every time. Like they said, sometimes, you know, they want to take you out the car, ask you who you are. Don't give you no reason to pull behind you and take your ID. You know, they want to check your ID for no reason. You know, it happens to people. So every time this happens...
If there's nothing wrong with your ID, what do it hurt for them to ask you for your ID to get you out the car? That's all. I just want you to think about why you keep ending up in this
Chairman Kirkwood. Chairman Kirkwood, actually, I want to say something.
Yes.
I thought we had heard his side of the story. I watched the video. Why are we dialoguing with him when we're supposed to be making a decision what we're going to do? He's supposed to be quiet and listen. Like the lady said, he's allowed to sit in the room. We can't rehash the case again. We've already heard the case. We've already watched the video. We have to sit down and take a vote on what we're going to do or not do. Is that right?
That's right, sir. Hold on, Mr. Acey. The person with the control of the board, make sure you mute Mr. Adams. Well, hold on. John has a question. Mr. Lynch has a question.
Well, Mr. Owen was taken in for resisting arrest, and I watched the video, and I'm trying to understand when he resisted being arrested. He was asked for a pen, and then he was taken to the ground. There was no point where he was told he was being arrested. There was no point where it was, I'll beat your ass, I believe is what the quote was. So when was he told he was being arrested and then he resisted it?
Correct. I went from my pen to up in and beat your ass. I mean, just that fast.
Right? I don't. Was he told to step? Did I miss him being told to step out of the car?
He didn't do none of that. He missed the proper steps. He didn't do the proper steps that time. You know.
I think we're supposed to be muting Mr. Owen. I'm asking if I missed it, and I've read through it.
Yeah. All right. Now, John, you back. Mute Mr. Adams. Unmute Mr. Jones.
I just think that's a question we need to ask, which is, we're saying he was resisting arrest, and I watched that video with everybody else here, and I didn't see it.
Y'all, we're not here adjudicating whether he resisted arrest. The complaint is excessive, unnecessary force.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Okay.
So, with that being...
Okay. The standard is the force that's necessary for the situation. I thought, okay. And the situation is he has his pen. Is that force necessary to get your pen?
Right.
Okay.
Could he just have given the man his pen back? I think Mr. Moore answered the question. He wouldn't be in here today. I don't know if we're attorney with him or not, but we can't adjudicate the case. Police officer give you a lawful order. You should obey that order. If you don't, he got reasonable support to do what he needs to do. To do what he needs to do.
I disagree. We are here deciding excessive force, and it's based on the circumstances. And I kind of am with Mr. Lynch on that rationale. We could just break down what happened, looking at the totality of the circumstances. Was him reaching in to get a pen and Mr. Owen pulling it back, granted it was annoying, was what the officer did considered excessive under the circumstances? I did not see a punch. I will put that on the record. I don't think anyone saw a punch occur. There may have been some tangential bodily contact that happened when the officer reached in to get his pen and Mr. Owen jerked it back, but I cannot subscribe to the theory that there was a punch that occurred. I did not see that, but I guess we're here to decide whether under the circumstances what the officer did was deemed excessive.
And that's my problem. I don't see no effective force. I see he went to the ground handcuffed, but what do we deem as excessive force? Excessive force to me is bodily harm to a person. I don't see the excessive force. That's the only thing
I don't see excessive force either. I mean, a lawful command by a police officer is supposed to be followed, and it wasn't.
Absolutely.
You can argue how far should he go, but a lawful command is a lawful command.
Correct.
I agree.
I just didn't want us to get into the weeds on what he should have done and what he could have done, meaning Mr. Owens. I just want us to stay focused on whether it was excessive.
Mr. Chair?
I think the medical record proved that it wasn't.
I agree.
I agree.
Mr. Chair?
I agree.
I'm listening.
It looked to me, just looking at that video, that things just escalated very quickly. As what Mr. Lynch said, I didn't hear anyone saying you were under arrest, but I did see a lawful command give me back my pen that was not done. And then as they went to reach for the pen, I think that's when the bodily contact occurred, and he was brought out of the car to get the pen back. And that's when he went to ground. I agree with Ms. Meadows. I don't think we can say anything about resisting arrest. I can't say that, but I didn't see him beaten badly, and I didn't see anything bad. And it looked to me like the way the situation went down, he had a lot to do with escalating it, and the policeman didn't hit him. He took him out of the car and put him on the ground and handcuffed him. So that's what it looked like to me.
And granted, the police officer used a verbal threat. I didn't see what he verbally threatened occur.
If the police handcuffed him and put him in the back of that car, he probably was legally arrested. I'm just thinking that. I don't know.
Getting pulled over by the police, not an invitation state.
If you refuse to sign the ticket,
right,
it is a reason for arrest.
Absolutely.
He said the straight line was signing the ticket.
Not a signature.
We've seen his signature.
Again, we're getting into the weeds. The officer was about to take the ticket back. He accepted the ticket as signed, whether he put an X, Y, Z, or a line. The officer took the ticket back, went to get his pen. Mr. Owen reached. There was some bodily touch, and Mr. Owen drew back. That's where the contact happened. It was not a punch. But again, whether he signed with an X, an O, a heart, smiley face, that was his signature at the time, and the officer had already retrieved his portion of the ticket. So again, how he signed, I think that's irrelevant. What we need to be focusing on is whether this complaint of DR 301 and whatever the complaint of excessive force, if there was excessive force under the circumstances.
When the police officer take that ticket in and show it to the people, they say, "Where is his signature?"
They won't care.
This straight line is his signature, right?
They won't care. They're still going to put the fee and the fine in the system. because he got that ticket. It's not going to matter whether he signs John Doe or anything else. It's clear from the video that a ticket was signed and retrieved by the officer. So, again, you know, let's not get into the weeds on how he signed, the manner in which he signed. He did sign. He acknowledges it on this call. It's a matter of what happened after he signed is the issue.
All right. So what are you saying? I hear what you're saying, but so are you saying there was or there wasn't excessive force?
I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that under the, I can't see how hard he got slammed, but under the circumstances, he was taken down by the officer after a lawful command was issued to him. I don't see where he got, finger quotes in the air, his ass beat. I did not see that. So while it's unfortunate, and whether the arrest was proper or not is not for me to adjudicate, but how
the question is, was it excessive? Do you think that was excessive, what you saw on the video?
I don't think the officer detaining him was excessive. It wasn't necessarily ideal under the circumstances because it could have been handled differently. But again, I'm not here to adjudicate that. So, but I did not see a punch, which would have been tantamount to excessive force for me under the circumstances. But I didn't see that as alleged.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So therefore, let us move forward. And let us decide how we shall, you all can put it within the, let us vote. Mr. Mobley or someone.
Yes, sir.
What are the 4 dimensions we can find on this case?
Say that one more time, sir.
We can find it. We can sustain, unsustained, unfounded, sustained, correct?
Not sustained, unfounded, sustained, exonerated.
Hold on.
Right.
Unfounded.
Do we type those into the bar?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm putting it, we go unsustained.
Then
sustained.
Unfounded. Exonerated.
Unfounded.
Mm-hmm. Exonerated.
Exonerated.
And then sustained.
What is exonerated?
When the allegation conduct likely occurred, but by violation not rule or law. When it occurred, but it was not against the law.
Can those, as someone requested, can 1, 2, 3, and 4 be typed into the bar just so that we could look at them?
Along with definitions?
What do they?
Right. Please, thank you.
We're getting that to you now.
The question on unsustained is it the a client's position. That's what we're voting on. If it was unsustained, is the allegation unsustained, right?
Right. Sustained means
I can't see it.
Leading official report, that's when the officer's supposed to. Okay. Yes. He didn't complete his reports, and that was sustained by this investigation that the paperwork he's supposed to do whenever you handle a civilian. You're supposed to do it properly, and that's like a code 0 or a blue thing violation.
He's
asking shut up.
There you go. Thank you.
Miss Mary Greenberg. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, sir, you did.
Could you define for us sustained, unsustained, unfounded,
Okay.
and exonerated?
The 4 categories are, number 1, not sustained, and that means when the alleged conduct is not supported by sufficient evidence. It means that considering all the evidence, it doesn't look like what the complainant says happened actually happened. The second one is unfounded, and that's very similar to not sustained. In fact, I've never really known a CLERB board to use this category. All it says is that when the alleged conduct is found likely not to have occurred, and that pretty much is the same as not sustained. Exonerated is when the alleged conduct likely occurred but violated no rule or law. Like if the police officer did what the complainant says he did, but he was authorized to do that according to the law and according to the rules of the Memphis Police Department. And then sustained, and that is when the alleged conduct likely occurred, violated a rule or law, and warrants disciplinary action. So that means that you believe what the complainant said, that it looks, and from considering all the evidence, that it looks like it actually happened that way, and that you believe that the police officer should be disciplined because of that. Generally, what the board does is vote sustained or not sustained, just to simplify things. And then, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying in past practice, that usually is what happens.
And can I ask a quick question just for my clarification? The only allegation that we are discussing today is DR 301, which is excessive force brought about by Mr. Owens' complaint that he was punched and then brought to the ground very, very harshly, correct?
Yes.
We are, yeah, and you are, the board is restricted to what is alleged in the complaint. You can't go off into other areas. Right. Whatever was alleged in the complaint is what you have to decide was sustained or not sustained.
Right. Let us vote. You can put your vote in the chat to everyone, and then everyone will see if we can count the votes as it is.
Okay. I got one. I gave him mine. I got no one. Sharpie here. So you gonna call it out, Chris, or they gonna? Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, not to interrupt the voting, but just to bring up something the officer did. The officer took a OTI for the on-job injury.
Thank you.
Sandeep, have you voted yet?
Sandeep, have you voted? Need your vote, Mr. Sandeep.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to do that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Granberry, can I ask you a question, please?
Sure.
I know they're voting online, and I know some citizens might go back and look at this meeting. My question is, should we vote verbally so if they go back to look at the meeting, can they see the vote? You understand my question?
Yes.
So is your concern about whether the vote should be secret or not?
No. My concern is that we should verbally vote. So if a citizen goes back in 2 weeks and look at this video, they can see who voted where. That's just my
saying.
Can they see the chat when they go back and look? Will the chat be part of the recording?
According to my tech person here, they cannot see they can't see that. So we need to verbally vote.
Yeah, should verbally vote then.
Okay.
All right. I will call a roll. Ward.
Not sustained.
Mr. Bergoza.
Not sustained.
Mr. Lynch.
Not sustained.
Mr. Moore.
Not sustained.
Yeah,
Mrs. Meadow.
Not the same.
Mr. Sandeep.
Not sustained.
Mr. Malone.
Do we have him alone? We don't have him alone. What is that?
We don't have a Mr. Long, Mr. Kirkwood.
Okay. Mr. Malone, Mr. Morris. Dr. Acey.
Unsustained.
Did you say unsustained?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Morris, we didn't get your vote.
I have his vote in the chat. I don't have it verbally.
I think he's already left. What is it?
Mr. Morris in the chat was sustained.
That is correct.
Okay. Do we have everybody?
I vote.
This is Dr. Chen Joyner, and mine is not sustained.
My vote, not sustained.
All right, it looks like we have a total of...
This is Willie Ward. Were you going to call the roll? So I was waiting. It sounded like you had more than one ward.
No, I thought you gave me yours, Mr. Ward. I'm sorry.
No, that was somebody else answered. I thought you had more than one ward.
I thought you said Warren. Sorry about that.
That was no problem. But I am not sustained.
Not sustained. Thank you, Mr. Ward. I apologize. I thought I heard your voice. Mr. Warren, you need to wait for Warren. All right, I'll make sure I say it better next time. Mr. Owen. Mr. Owen,
we can pop
the board has heard.
1 second, we'll turn it back. There you
go. Yes.
You have heard our vote regarding your case. We have found that your case was unsustained.
Okay.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you. We thank you for bringing it forward, and we hope things go better as we move forward for both your side and the police side.
Okay, you too now. Thank you very much.
All right, my brother.
Yeah, let's mute him quickly.
All right, now.
So he don't say, okay, he after this. Thank you.
All right, good people.
Okay.
Motion to dismiss?
We need someone to motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay. Who seconded? Who? Bogart is Nick. Okay.
Warren.
Someone tell me, what do I do with this now? Do I shred it or do I mail it back or?
I'll get those from you. I need to get those back so I can shred them. I'll get them back from you.
All right.
Stand by,
I have another question. For those of you, this was your first case. Raise your hand so we can see you. All right. How are you feeling?
4, 6.
I feel fine. I think that, it's easy for us to get into the many facets of how a scenario should have or could have gone. And so I apologize if I felt like I was dominating. I think I was trying to put my relevance hat on here and just try to keep us focused on, why we were here, which was to decide whether, he was punched as alleged and brought to the ground in such a way that he fractured or broke something. And I just didn't see that happen. So, for me, it was just, it was good, as expected. But I know it's easy for us to kind of go down, holes, and can get distracted sometimes. But it was good, and I appreciate y'all's help.
Yeah, hey, see, one thing, Chairman Kirkwood, once we let them speak, we had a time limit back in the day. They could have 10 minutes. Once you read the summary of the case, they have 10 minutes or 5 minutes to say anything else they want to say. And once they say that, then we look over the case, we can ask them some questions. But to let them just keep coming back after we've heard everything, we watched the video, and they keep asking questions, we should have a time limit. I don't think we should let them just drag on and hear the case. And like the young lady just said, deal with what's relevant to this case. Because he can keep talking and say, well, last week he hit me or drove by my house 5 times. When we don't have the video, it might be awfully difficult. So anyway, we can work that out. We massage it a little.
I agree. Or at a minimum, keep him muted until he's called upon to answer.
Absolutely.
I would definitely agree with that. I think it got a little out of sorts there for a little bit. Also, I didn't get. It seems there were medical records. Some people got them. I definitely didn't get them. I actually have a note in here saying I didn't get them, which would have been helpful. It was helpful. Thanks for pointing that out. I can't remember who actually pointed it out, but it was helpful to have that pointed out. But I didn't have it in.
Yeah, I knew you had them, but I didn't know if you didn't have them, Doc.
Right. But it was.
Sean, your first case?
Yes.
How you feeling?
I mean, I was very close. I do think, excessive force is obviously dependent on the circumstances. So it's, in those circumstances were a little blurry. Obviously don't think he helped himself. But it's okay. That's why we're here.
Right.
I do have a question for you. I have a question for you, Mary, as the attorney on the board. Like Sean said, I was a bit close. It's like excessive force, and that's why I kept saying, are we voting on, that he was indeed punched in the face as alleged and all of that? Because that would have made a huge difference to me. But it was a little gray because in my mind, maybe the officer, even though he gave a lawful command and he was probably annoyed because he mouthed off at first, and the officer was already pissed off, about that on that Tuesday morning. There wasn't much room to wiggle on this. It was like excessive force or not. And under the circumstances, I think the officer probably should have just gotten his pen and went about his business. So are there any definitions that we can use? Because this wasn't really black and white. What made it not sustained for me is that Mr. Owens clearly was not punched as he alleged. And he knew the video was going to show that he wasn't punched. But with respect to excessive force, did I think it was excessive? Sure, he didn't need to get taken down for a pen, but that's just me sitting on my mound of privilege, you know? So are there definitions that we can use, you know, for these legal terms? These are legal terms, you know,
right.
that a lay person may not understand, because even me being in the legal field, I did think it was a bit excessive that he got taken down for a pen, but did it happen the way Mr. Owen said? Absolutely not.
Exactly. And I would have to look and see, you know, excessive force is a legal term, and we probably should use a legal definition of that. But again, it does depend on the totality of the circumstances, because in some circumstances, you know, jerking somebody out of the car might be justified if there's a threat and if you can't get them out any other way, and that's just an example. And then in other circumstances, it certainly would not be justified. You know, if they're cooperating and the officer says, well, you're not moving fast enough, or, you know, whatever, and jerks them out of the car, you may think that was excessive force. I'll have to look into that a little bit and see, but off the top of my head, you know, I think excessive force is probably, you know, a legal definition, and we should look into that and see.
I think it was in our
book. Something maybe Mr. Kirkwood can answer this. He's a recent officer. If you refuse an officer and they ask you to do something, and they can use whatever force necessary to make their arrest. I don't know if that's the case, but and if it's excessive, if you handcuff a man, have him on the ground, tase him, beat him with your club, and you know, that's excessive for that case, not snatching the pen. But anyway, but I think maybe Officer Kirkwood could help us out.
In policing, that wasn't excessive. That really was the amount of force necessary to effect an arrest.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
In fact, they were very nice to him. They didn't slam him. They basically took him out of the car, placed him down on the ground, and they handcuffed him. That's
right.
What it's the question you have to ask sometimes is, you know, how long should an officer go backwards and forward with, give me my pen?
Yeah.
You know, how long should he allow that to go on? And that's, you can be asking, you know, should an officer stay out there 5, 10, 15 minutes saying, give me my pen? Or should an officer say, okay, you can have the pen, I'm gone? You know, some people would say, let the officer say, I have the pen, and walk off and go on, or stay there 30 minutes until the person decides to give the pen.
Could I say something? You know, I think we're going down a slippery slope, and I see this too much out in the street.
That's going to be a slippery slope out in the streets.
Out in the street. Yeah. And we said the president that, you know, all enforcement stopped you, that you can pull a rank on the officer and say what you will do or what you will not do. But the officer have authority when he stops you. And we never come back to the point that how did it get to this point? That's the only point I said. Either I went back to 17. I went back to 17 because he went back to talking. I've been stopped before. So he got away from what he was talking about. He went back somewhere else. So I went back somewhere else. But we are going down a slippery slope where we tell our young people that hey, when an officer stops you, you don't have to follow none of the rules, none of the regulations. You can do what you want to do and say, you can't tell me what to do. That's my problem. And so I feel good about this how it came out, but that's why I kept pressing him on. Did he think he had any responsibility? He would say, oh, because of your action, signed the ticket, gave the man his book back, gave the pen back. None of this would even happen. No handcuffs, no put on the ground. And I think we are not pressing that enough, and I think we are buying into something that's causing all this destruction violence in our community, and I don't think we should keep going down that road. And that's just my.
Mr. Ward, you was finna say?
Yeah, I'll just simply say that this was my first experience with the board. I was very satisfied with the result and the conclusion that we came to. I know most of us have had different life experiences, and I will simply say that out of my life experiences, whether it was working or just growing up here in Memphis, Tennessee, I had a loaded pistol under my seat, ammunition in my console. I would sign my name, give the officer his pen back, and then wait until he pulled off and tell the Lord thank you. I would not recognize that officer. So I don't know what his motivation was. I don't know what he was trying to prove, but I put all of that to the side. And when I watched the video, I was waiting to see the officer hit him with a right hook or a left uppercut. And I did not see that, and the medical report did not say that he was injuries. For me, it was a done deal at that point.
All right. And we have pamphlets that we prepared, Chairman Kirkwood, that maybe the new board members need to see. If we prepared some pamphlets to give to citizens to tell them what to do when stopped by officers. That might help all of us, especially them.
Dr. Acey, to be honest with the way the young man talked to the officer and with the way that he expressed himself to us, giving him a pamphlet was not going to help him.
Well, I mean, but it might help somebody else.
I thought he was completely out of order, telling us, young man, his family just got paid, and he walked up on me, he got shot. You know.
It was irrelevant.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to leave the meeting. Yeah, I got to go. I've enjoyed this, but I got to go. Acey.
All right.
We did adjourn, right?
Yeah,
Dave, Acey, give me a call. Hey, give me a call.
Okay, I'll give you a call.
But great meeting all you guys, and looking forward to working with you.
I'm trying to get the new
Everybody be safe. Wear your mask. Take care.
Doctor. All right. I'm trying to get the new people set up with some ride-alongs in the precincts so that you can see this stuff up close and personal. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not personal, up close, but away. Stay safe. So that you can become familiar with policing out on the street. So you can kind of get a sense of it. So that should be coming soon.
You know, I already been through that several times. So
I said new people, Mr. Ward.
You can let me know a schedule. I am in full-time ministry, so I can probably be pretty flexible for what's available, because I did look and I saw that they had some classes that looked like they were pretty full, but I am available and interested.
You would jump ahead, and you would ride along. I want you all to ride along in the evening, on the evening shift, so you can see stuff happen. All right. I don't want you to be on the day shift. Day shift is quiet in most areas. All right. We have already had a first and a second to adjourn, and so let this meeting be adjourned. You all go forward and have a wonderful day. Tell Elijah that his mom did a good job on the first CLERB meeting. It was all folks. You all be blessed.